And welcome back to my Doctor Who DVD overview series. So, what we're starting off right now, we're finishing off with Peter Davison and then moving into Colin Baker. And one thing that's kind of interesting about Peter Davison's last season is it had Colin Baker's story tacked on at the end. And back to back, you have one of the worst stories in Doctor Who history, followed by what is largely considered to be, well, one of the worst, followed by, or one of the best, followed by one of the worst. If that makes any sense, because I think I just confused myself. So we'll start off with Caves of Androzani. This is the original 2002 version, if I can save it from the glare. So here we have Peter Davison's swan song after 3 seasons of playing the Doctor. Main reason why he left after 3 seasons is he was following the example and advice that had been given to him by Patrick Troughton, that it would be best to only do, you should only do 3 years and then move on. So this was his swan song story. Also the only story that featured Peter Davison and just one companion. And I think the dynamic with him and just one companion actually works better than the multiple companions that he had throughout his run. So, yeah. So here we have his final story. It's a very, very dark tale. This particular DVD has really no extras to speak of other than some trailers, although it does have a few newsroom features and, clips and stuff like that. But they hadn't really gotten into making, lengthy, all-encompassing, I guess, what you could call, overarching documentaries made after the fact. But anyway, so that's the Caves of Androzani. Now, on to the Twin Dilemma. And Colin Baker, although I have mentioned several times that he is actually one of my, well, probably my favorite Doctor, but he really got screwed during his run. He was actually really one of 3 Doctors back-to-back that got screwed. Sylvester McCoy did not get to finish his run, and Paul McGann only got the TV movie, but he's done lots of cool stuff after that on audio. But anyway, so the Twin Dilemma. Really, I'm not sure what they were thinking with this story. I think one of the main things that ruined it, and they don't actually have a picture of them on here, but the twins in this story are just awful. A lot of people also didn't really like the way Colin Baker's Doctor was introduced. But I guess what you had to realize is Colin Baker had intended to stay in the role for a long time. His goal was to beat Tom Baker's 7-season record. So the idea was his Doctor was going to go on a journey and start being, start as very abrasive and, completely out of control. And, well, especially in the first episode, regenerations are, always a bit loopy with the Doctor. But this is, here is the only time he tried to strangle his companion. Yeah, there's the twins right there, if you can see through the glare. But anyway, so just, it's kind of funny that Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy's first stories were some of the worst ever made. So really, they had their work cut out for them when they started. Also, his Doctor costume really just, he didn't agree with it. He actually, he stated that he actually wanted to go for more of a look as to what Christopher Eccleston later got, but he got stuck with this terrible rainbow-colored whatever. But anyway, so there's the Twin Dilemma. Tacked on at the end of Peter Davison's last season, and then viewers had to wait a season to wait till the next season to see any more from Colin Baker. So I think in many people's mouths this story just left a foul taste. So yeah, and it's, even today it's reviled. And if we look at it, transmission date was March 22nd to 30th, 1984. Attack of the Cybermen, his first full story was, January 2nd, or January 5th to the 12th, 1985. So we're looking at like 9 or 10 months where all people had to go with for Colin Baker's Doctor was the Twin Dilemma. Now, when his first full series started, the format had changed. They'd gone to 2 45-minute episodes, which they'd experimented with the previous season, but here it was set. So 45 minutes. The stories became a lot darker, a lot more violent. But even though people tend to look down on his era, it actually, in my view, has some amazing stories. Like Attack of the Cybermen when he came back. Just a very, very bloody story. Really, set the tone where Doctor Who was more of an adult program at this point, maybe more than it was aimed at children. But yeah, Attack of the Cybermen, we see the Cybermen come back. Essentially, they were all the Doctor's major enemies appear in Colin Baker's first season, so they started him off with, well, everything. Then we go to Vengeance on Varys, I guess. I don't know, an early version of the Hunger Games. Also another very, very dark story, but one that I've always enjoyed. I believe this one's also recently had a re-release as well. This one came out in Region 1 in 2003, which obviously does not have a whole lot of extra stuff. But anyway, so that's Vengeance on Varys. So, we're, sadly, even though this is the first video, about a third through Colin Baker's run. Yeah, we'll cover some of the some of the later stories in the next video. So as always, everyone, thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.